Hello, this is Lady Ninja, and welcome to my personal review of Ni No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This is a personal review, and some may agree and some may not agree with what I say, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Well, you star as a 12-year-old boy named Oliver, and due to a sad and unfortunate event, he loses his mother, and he's crying alone in his room for about 3 days. And he cries into his plush doll, a little plush doll that his mom created for him, and it magically comes to life. And Oliver finds out that it's a fairy called Mr. Drippy, and he's the High Lord of the Fairies. And he tells you that his world is in danger, and that you're the pure-hearted, and you have to come to his world and save the people from an evil wizard named Shadar. At first, Oliver disagrees, but then he quickly changes his mind when he finds out that Drippy's world has something called soulmates, where soulmates are counterparts to the people of Oliver's world. For example, the store owner, I forgot her name, and her cat, and some of the other people in Motorville have people that look the same or differently in Drippy's world. And as you progress in the game, Oliver learns that in the other world, people are heartbroken, and the only way to restore their heart is to find people brimming with the piece of heart that they're missing. And you get them when you progress through the story. Basically, after, boss battles or main parts of the story, you get, very important heart pieces, and then more errands pop up asking for it. You meet some cool and interesting characters along your adventure, and they're easy to love, well, maybe except for one character, and, everybody knows who he is. And even though the game shares the same formula as most other RPGs, this one, will kind of still pull you in nonetheless, and most of us have already fallen in love with it, as I have. To me, the graphics, cutscenes, art, whatever you want to call it, was simply beautiful and flawless, as any Studio Ghibli anime is for me. The character interactions were hilarious, especially with Mr. Drippy and some other characters. And especially with Esther and Swain, they had something going on, always arguing. And the game's cel-shaded art makes it seem like if you were in the middle of the anime. At least for me, that's what I felt like, that I was playing a Studio Ghibli anime. And the music as well, I found I really enjoyed, especially when I acquired Tengri. It has, that, I don't know what you call it, that hero music, heroic music, and I could listen to it for hours. And, I kind of sort of did, when I passed out, when I was on my recording breaks. The battle system reminds me of Pokemon, when you call out your pet one at a time to fight with its own elemental or physical power against you. The other enemies on the screen. Here, your pets are called familiars though, and instead of being stationary, you and your familiars are free, to run around on the battlefield, dodging enemy blows, with the evade or defend attack, or you can even defend big moves by holding square, so you can protect all of them. You also have the help of Mr. Drippy, where he, cheers you on and throws a few glims your way, and later on he becomes a little bit more useful with something called Tidy Tears, and it has helped me in some parts. Like Pokemon, you can also catch them once Esther is given a special harp called the Heart-Winning Harp. You beat them with your skills, and if they are impressed, they will allow themselves, to get caught. You keep them in something called the Creature Cage. You can check them out in the menu, and you can feed them treats to level up their stats or metamorphosize them with special drops once they reach a certain level. And it's best to morph them once they reach a certain level and have acquired a certain amount of moves. Some look the same but with different color palettes, but some did have noticeable differences to them. I like that there were many things to do besides the story, like solving little riddles for a ghost named Horace. And I suggest you do that because it's very important for, the end of the main story. And also going on bounty hunts and errands for people around the town. Not only taking and giving hearts, but also acquiring or creating certain items for them. And when you do that, you earn something called merit stamps, and it unlocks special abilities to use in battle or even on maps. for battle would be like doubling your XP, to even fixing my little peeve where I couldn't get all the glimpses after battle. And also you earn a hefty amount of gold and also special equipment for you and your familiars. There was maybe one thing I disliked, well not really disliked, I hardly ever used and saw no use for. And to me personally, I kind of found the alchemy system a little bit useless. And well, unless you had to create an item for a person who requested it, I kind of wish you could learn the formula for things you created, like sandwiches, burgers, you know, special cakes for your familiars. I also tried mixing multiple amounts of an item, but they only ended up getting blown up in my face, and it was kind of tedious creating them one at a time, especially when you wanted to feed them to your familiars, you know, to boost their stats. But I did like the way I acquired the alchemy cauldron. I think that's the only part I really enjoyed. I also noticed some magic spells you couldn't use that were given to you, like Quake. And I think that kind of spell would have really helped in battle against certain bosses and certain enemies. But I guess that's why the familiars were there, for you to figure out what kind of moves to use, you know, like fire, water, earth, wind. But the spells acquired in game were pretty nifty themselves, like the Astra spell you get when you solve all of Horus's riddles. That one's pretty strong. And other than that, I really enjoyed the game and still do, since there are a lot of things to do after the main story. After you complete all these tasks, supposedly there's supposed to be a true ending to the game, and I really want to find out what it is. I was led to believe I finished the game the first time after I beat Shadar, and I forgot why the game was called the White Witch. And then after you beat the White Witch, they set off into the skies, and then you're left off to continue some things like closing rifts and beating extra bounties and doing other errands. And I will be recording the extra tasks and posting them if you want to watch those. I would like to say, if you're new to RPGs, especially JRPGs, I would recommend picking this game up. It's a beautiful game. It's a very funny game, and I think it's pretty easy to get used to. And the good thing is you can raise the difficulty for a challenge if you are used to playing these types of game, and you can also lower the difficulty if you don't got the, you know, the hang of it, and like that you can enjoy the story. But I suggest having it in your collection, and if again you're new to RPGs and you're not certain, you can try renting it from Gamefly or any other renting services. But to me, this is a must-have in your collection. I hope you enjoyed my mini review of Ni No Kuni. I know I probably missed some stuff, and if you would like to let me know in the comment section what you think of the game, what you liked, what you disliked of the game, who were your favorite characters, etc. I would like to hear it. And I will be posting up the real ending to the game and the post-game tasks. I hope you enjoy those as well. I thank you for watching and enjoy my playthrough, and thanks for watching.